Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, in the past, present, or future, wherever and whenever you are. Welcome to another edition of the Living World of Darkness Changeling 20th venue. Our scene is set in Charles's apartment, and it is 11:59 in some seconds. The house is quiet. Well, or the apartment is quiet, but I mean, there's that static hum of the New York City streets down below, even amongst the high-rise apartment. And of course, there's the lights that come through like little miniature stars on Earth as you gaze out those windows. Charles himself is asleep, having finally gotten comfortable on one of the couches there. He's got a spare blanket and everything. And he's fast asleep, lost in some dream or perhaps a half-remembered memory. Who's to say, really, when it comes to him, if the dreams are memories or the memories are dreams? Regardless, he is content. But there is something that he may not necessarily have forgotten, but it definitely did slip his mind. Lots of things have been happening recently, and perhaps, just perhaps, he had gotten so used to the fact that he was feeling like his old self that he forgot that the magic wouldn't last forever. And like all magic, seems that it always strikes at its most poetic time, and in this case, stroke of midnight. And the seconds go by as we get closer and closer to that moment. And then the clock strikes midnight. And suddenly Charles's eyes open wide and he there's a scream, a lot louder and more spectacularly blood-curdling than I just did there. I don't want to burst anyone's eardrums or scare the shit out of my neighbors. But it rings throughout the house. And there's a loud thud, as well as Charles hits the floor, trembling for a moment as he's just feeling his body dying. Every cell, every part of him, every breath in his lungs now is dying. That eternity gone, that magic that was preserving him gone. He feels himself, every molecule of his borrowed skin, he's rotting. Maxine! As he starts crawling and tries to get up, and he's trips over something. His legs are just, he can barely stand at the moment. He's just, these sensations all through him. As there's a crashing of glass. How's Maxine responding?
Maxine was sleeping in rabbit form, as she does, Jack Rabbit form, when the first scream woke her up. And with a twitch of her ears, she crouches, hearing the panic. She dives from the bed and crawls for safety underneath it, trembling, because, well, it just seems natural in this form. Hearing her name, it's barely registering in her sleep-addled state. And hearing the glass sends her into almost a trance as it reaches past her Jackrabbit form and into what is, in fact, Maxine. And with that sound of shattering glass, she remembers what she's been a part of recently. She sees Sir Carol's face in that frozen rictus as it falls to the floor, and her own hands gathering him up and tossing him into the air where he stays. And she's underneath the bed and feels compelled to stay there, unable to face her own reality.
and probably lost in their thoughts regardless of the continuing screams as he comes down the hall, trembling and using like the wall for support as he gets there. He's framed. It's probably a blessing she can't see him right now, at least at the moment, because what's standing in the door frame is not that composed monster that she's come to know him to be. Cool, calm, even under the pressure of everything. Maybe he looks a little tired when he comes home from work with the pressures of banality upon him and everything like that. And especially these last few days, he's been quite happy. In the door frame, there is just this gaunt, haggard visage of a statue. The ivy vines almost seem almost disheveled, but they don't look foolish. It just looks like someone who's just like so high strained and strung out. As he's like, his eyes are just wide and frantic as he's like, Maxine, where are you? As he just rips the bed sheets off at a certain point to try and find her, but she's not there. Where are you? And he just rips open one of the drawers, just in case maybe she's hiding in one of them. Don't, please, don't leave me like this. Not like this, he says as he rips open the closet and collapses into it. Like this. Oh, tell me you snuck out to sea. Oh, don't. No. Not like this. Not like this. Oh, God. Oh, Dons. Why have you cursed me in this corpse?
There's a slight shuffling underneath the bed as she tries to gain purchase on the hardwood floor, which is hard as a rabbit. As she tries to dart out from underneath the bed and whatever else may be underneath it, if anything. And make a break for the door in a natural fight or flight panic.
Maxine, he says as he starts like crawling. It may be a bit over exaggerated, but it's even then he's just like he's in such shock right now and an actual a degree of agony that he wasn't expecting, that he's just that's the best he can do is try to crawl after her, but he barely makes it halfway before he just collapses. Oh, God.
The roaring certainly isn't helping her gather her thoughts about where she is, but she scurries to the kitchen, where she takes several deep breaths, trying to remember, not a jackrabbit, not a jackrabbit, I'm not a jackrabbit. And out of the sight of her oathmate, she triggers that magic that sends her back to Maxine form. And though Charles may have thought she was joking when she says she sleeps in the nude and is just a rabbit, she is sort of there just like, okay. And wraps some paper towels around herself in sort of like a makeshift protective garment for the moment as she tries to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Charles is in the meanwhile curled up and like just trembling, and like he's trying to hold himself together and trying to get a grip on the sensation. He remembers the very first time when he even inhabited this body, and he felt that exact same thing. It was a huge shock to his system. He was lucky that he had been home alone at that time in order to try and get his figure out what was happening, and get a grip on on himself from his makeshift flight. This was almost just as bad. Oh no, worse. Actually, far worse. Because at the very least, when he first got into inhabiting that body, he was having to deal with all the other sensations of having to deal with the lack of color and everything else. There was so much more distraction going on that just because his body was dying, it was only just one thing of many. It sort of desensitized him to that fact, and of course, after a while, he got used to it. Now that's all there is. Now all he feels is death pulling at this flesh, at his bones, at his marrow, at his this borrowed skin that he wears.
She stands up, and finally it registers that her oath-mate is in distress. But she's not going to approach him in paper towels. She looks over at where the living room is, runs over there, grabs a blanket, and makes a makeshift toga. Before taking a deep breath and strolling to where he is, calmly, collected, beguiling.
Composed.
She kneels down beside him.
By the way, Charles doesn't, as you remember last time, he doesn't wear a top when he's sleeping. He's just wearing his pajama pants. So it's just that pure marble skin of his back, flawless as all parts of him are, as he's just curled up there and just trembling and just shaking. Like Maxine's probably seen addicts several times, like going through a detox. It's almost very similar to that in some facts. In fact, the marble is sweating.
She'll put her hand on him to offer comfort for a moment. Charles.
Where were you?
I'm everywhere.
Everywhere. I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm just a thing in a corpse. Feel it. I can feel every bit of it. Every inch of me screaming out as it divides, dies, and sheds itself.
She'll, not used to comforting Charles, just she'll kind of go to give him a comforting, awkward hug, because again, this is Charles. She's seen him composed, she's seen him cruel, she's seen him upset, but during all of those, she's never seen him broken. Okay. Everything's okay.
I can see the light fading in my eyes, even as I gaze out at it. There's barely enough color as it is.
I'm gonna need you to calm down. Take a breath.
Every breath I can feel fills my lungs and exhales a moment more.
Holding on to them isn't going to slow time down, Charles. Come on, we need to get up off the floor.
Takes him a moment before he starts to try and move. And he's starting to. It seems he's getting a little bit of himself there. It's probably more the initial shock that wiped a lot more out of him, but even then it's still a little shaky.
Okay. You're okay. This is normal. You're just experiencing life. It's okay, Charles.
not experiencing life. I'm experiencing what it's like to feel life slipping away.
Okay. What did I tell you?
What?
I'm not going anywhere. And she'll still feeling awkward but worried for him. She'll try to like pull him in for a hug, which is again weird for her. It's okay. You're okay.
He reciprocates, but it's more like, rather than like, it's more like he's clinging on to something like, this is real, this is something that's at least supporting me, kind of deal.
Okay. Now, can you stand?
I think. Give me a moment. Just a moment. I think. Yes, I think. I think so.
I'll help you. Let me lend you my strength. She'll give him a friendly smile. It is not her puka smirk of mischief, but a empathetic smile. Come on.
All right. He guys, they're getting up there, and he's still a little wavy, but at least he's now starting to get his balance again. He's starting to get used to a dying body again. He had forgotten. Maybe he didn't forget. Maybe he just wanted to deny that was ever a thing that was happening to him. Maybe that's why that's making this even worse, because it's that harsh, stark reality of where he is, what he is now, what he used to be. He stands there, waves just a little bit before finally getting.
Come on. Let's go to the kitchen, and I'll fix you a drink.
Charles doesn't really say anything right now. He's just focusing, and it's barely just one step at a time as he starts moving in the direction. He's just not in composure at this moment. He's like easy to lead.
Yeah. Before she leaves the room again, she reaches for something on the nightstand. A watch cuff that was crafted for her by Misha, is by request and in exchange for teaching her Chronos. And she takes that with her. And she leads Charles to the table.
And Charles manages to sit down and put his hands on his face as he's just trying to get through the pounding in his head of his own brain cells and those synapses firing. It's every last bit of him. He can just feel it.
She leads him to the table to sit him down. And she puts the watch down on the table, moves to where he keeps his bottles of alcohol and the various bric-a-brac that go with the ceremony he always seems to provide. And she returns with a bottle of absinthe, a slotted spoon, and a glass. That bottle that he decided to bring out when it was discovered that she's being followed or pursued, or, well, she's a hare, maybe even hunted. And she sits the bottle down and puts the glass down and lays the spoon across the glass. She looks at him. You know, this would be a lot easier if I knew your true name.
Don't get smart with me. I'm not in the mood.
Oh. Are you saying you don't trust me? She says, even as she reaches for her watch, and with a look of sadness across her face, she rips at the sterling silver watch face on the cuff and places it on top of the spoon where a sugar cube should go. She takes the bottle of absinthe and pours it over the face of the ticking watch face until the glass is full and the watch stops. And she slides the glass over to Charles. Drink this and steady yourself.
He's not even like looking or anything, but he grabs it and he takes a drink. I'll have to roll stamina to see if he gets high and
That's
drunk.
I've already rolled my bunk.
Yeah. Let me just roll his. Oops. Yep, no, he is going to be drunk and high once this is over. At least he didn't botch, but that's another thing. But yeah, so I'm wow. And that's with the you got max difficulty reduction too. Yeah, that's all the successes.
Yeah.
All of them. 1, 2, 3.
And maybe that's why it takes such an effect on Charles. This drink, this green fairy that he consumes. It has stopped time and stops time within him for a full decade.
He just leans back. He looks back at his hand, that sensation of all the dying, stopping, and back to eternity. But now he's like looking at it more because he keeps looking at like the movement of his between his fingers and everything like that. He's just like almost like way too fascinated with his hand right now that he's almost completely forgotten the freak out and everything else, as he is just like slightly hallucinating a bit.
Maxine will watch with a curious tilt of the head. How do you feel?
Yeah. It was. I feel better. He's not looking at the palm of his hand, and apparently there's something so hysterically funny he's just starting to crack up. That was dying. Is going to die.
I'm sure it wasn't going to happen right away.
I don't know who's to say. Could have been tomorrow, could have been a year. That's what I count my life now, years and days and weeks. That's how they're counted now. You. Says he sort of looks up and he's like, "You helped me."
Of course. I'm your friend.
You are my friend. You are my friend. Yes. Oh, you are my Biffle. Biffle. Biffle, Biffle, Biffle.
Careful, you'll wear out the word there, Charles.
No, it's like coming out new every time I say it. Biffle, Biffle, Biffle. Biffle, 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 Biffle.
Um, well, it's good to see you back to your old self, she says with a quirk of the eyebrow.
Oh, I don't know if this is my old self. Almost my new self. A nice fancy paint job.
Painting marble? Blasphemy.
I know. It seems so funny right now. I was dying, you know.
Well, that's sort of the standard here.
How do you do that?
It's just the way things are, Charles.
I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
Well, I do my best to lend you my strength, but you're gonna have to learn to cope with this eventually.
I'm just gonna have to remember. I think I'm gonna have to remember. I don't. You. You said you don't feel like you're dying.
Well,
Remember, but you are. You are. I see it every day. I see it. It's like I see everyone. Oh, but it doesn't bother you. Maybe it stings a bit, yes, but it doesn't bother you. So just because that's what it's like being born here, you're dying the moment you come out.
Well, you don't die from the moment you come out. You have to grow first.
Well, then when does the dying start?
Well, I'm no scientist. And scientists are pretty close to poets, so they're probably fools who shouldn't be believed, but there's rumor around 25.
Shame. Shame I had to come into this place in a body of 30. 30. October 18th, 1979. And the date is
February 13th, 2018.
Right. So that means 3,009. No, that's not right.
3009. You look great for your age.
Thank you. I try. I'm trying to go the other way. How do you go the other way?
Subtraction.
You're trying to make the numbers smaller.
Yes. So you
Okay.
subtract 1979 from 2018. You can do it, Charles.
It's like he's looking like this is the most testamount sort of the testamount thing in his life. The pinnacle of his life right now. 1979. The numbers are there, and numbers are there.
Do you need scratch paper?
No, I got. Charles is 38.
Oh, no.
38.
Well, 38-year-old Charles. I'm 25-year-old Maxine.
Pleasure to meet you. Although I think we've met before.
No, this is definitely the first time I've met you.
Feels like the first time. Feels like the very first time. Oh, was that how it felt the first time I was dying? Just puts his head on the table and starts rolling it around a bit. Are you planning on dying?
Well, I don't know if people really plan these things. But they do tend to happen.
You know you don't have to.
Oh. And what would I do with eternity, Charles?
Whatever you want. Yulf. You only live forever. Do what you want.
No. Living forever is not really my thing. I don't know. Life is better when you live like there's no tomorrow. She'll do little finger guns. You know. More absinthe?
Keeps repeating the motion. He's just watching his fingers go by. I think I'll. Ooh. Oh, this is what you were experiencing when I gave it to you the first time.
Well, if anything, it helped numb the shock of my impending meeting.
Well, certainly numbed my shock.
Oh, then it's just what the doctor ordered.
Have I ever said thank you?
In your ways.
No. Have I ever said thank you?
For what exactly?
Anything, really.
She thinks for a moment. I don't remember.
Huh. Well, thank you.
Of course.
It seems strange and distant when he does say that, like it's not really fully him saying that. Maybe some piece of someone else. Maybe it's because he's high. Maybe it's because of, having, in his case, what he believed to be a near-death experience right now. Or maybe there was something more, just for a brief moment there.
I'm gonna go ahead and trigger my birthright.
Mm-hmm. Go for it. Let's see how it goes. For the first time, let's see if it... Whoa!
Really happy for the first time.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes? Is that what I'm seeing?
That is what you're saying.
Okay. Yep.
Charles, are you all right?
I don't know. Not really sure. No, I'm not. I'm dead. I'm dead and there's something else inside me.
She's going to tilt her head and just kind of lean in closer to look at Charles. Charles peeking through Kararis, perhaps. Do you know who I am?
No. And yes, never met you, but I know you.
Where are you from?
Virginia. Little place just outside the capital. Called it, well, most people would call it No Man's Land because that was where the Egars make their home. Never really had a place of itself. I'm from a place far from this world, this era. I'm from my own little slice of Arcadia. I am from the dreams of those who believed in such enlightenment, such high rising possibility of elevating ourselves from the muck. I am from the creation society's greatest achievements.
She contemplates what she's just seen before asking her final question. Carrars, what did you do to Charles?
I devoured him.
And she gives a nearly imperceptible shudder.
He seems to not have realized that she had done whatever done to him. He's probably just so high right now.
Mhm.
Doesn't even realize who might have been peeking through for just a brief moment. Anyways, thank you, Maxine. I can see why friends are so important.
Oh? Please educate me.
See, I'm beginning to understand. Even in the narrative, you have the friends, they're always there to support you, to be able to get up and stuff, but it's a give and take. But I've never really gotten a chance to see it in action or had it personally done. Now I can see the appeal.
Oh, I'm appealing now, am I?
Well, you've always been wonderful, but now I'm just seeing the appeal, really, for the first time. See why some people might be interested in doing this.
Well, I know my friends keep me very young.
Hmm.
But you won't need me forever, I'm sure. After all, you just need to remember.
Remember. Yes, I'm going to have to remember a great many things. A great many things. I'm sorry I woke you up.
It's nothing. You've given me hospitality. It's certainly the least I could do.
No, it was unbecoming of me. Shouldn't have had to put you in that position as my guest.
Well, I like to think I'm more than your guest.
You're my friend.
I am that.
My Biffle.
Bound by words and promises.
Indeed. Indeed. Bound forever.
Well, at least until death.
It's okay. I'm not afraid of dying.
No, you're not. I made a promise to be your friend. So no matter where you are, your next life, should I still be here by some non-granted miracle, I'll be your friend still.
Oh, how are you planning on finding me?
Just look for the little rabbit.
I was very cute when I was young.
I'll never know what it was to be young, only as I am. Maybe, should I come to grips with this or never be able to master, be able to speak with time again, I probably will at least get to experience what it's like to be old, but never young.
Oh, that's a shame. I know they look so harshly upon the paths the common folk have taken, but at the very least, we get to experience youth.
But you forget. You always forget. I'm not sure you'd like me in your next life.
Oh?
There's a feeling. Maybe it's this. Maybe I'm getting a little bubbly. So bubbly.
I would never use that adjective for you.
Oh, it's just my thoughts keep rising up and they.
Please feel free to share. Nobody'd believe me if I repeated them anyways.
Probably not. I'd believe you though.
What are your feelings?
Feelings. Feelings. Right now it's content. It's very content and rubbery.
Calm down there, Stevie Wonder.
Oh, I'm not blind yet. I'm not blind. I see very clear. Clearer than I've ever seen.
I would have taken care of you if you were blind.
I know you would.
So I hear you got a promotion. Should I call you Sir Biffle?
Sir Biffle. Sir Biffle, 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 Biffle. Only if you want. But Have I ever asked you to call me sir or lord before?
Well, you were a squire when we made our oath, so. No.
No. Just call me Charles. I like playing Charles.
Why?
Because it's fascinating sometimes.
Do you think it might be because people care for Charles? Or you worry they won't care for Carraris?
No.
I'm curious.
So, new life, new suit. Suit's got a name. Why not use it?
Oh, well, if that's the case, please call me Blanket.
Oh no. No, that's yours is Maxine.
For now.
Yours is Maxine. For now, that's right. And then you'll change your suit.
I have a name that follows. Well, two names that follow. Let me get you a glass of water.
That'd be nice.
Of course.
Thank you.
She'll go to the kitchen and pour him a glass of water and bring it back and slide it gently in front of him. Took almost half a bottle of whiskey to get you this drunk last time.
I'm not just drunk. I feel so many things. Tapping the glass with the water before he finally grabs onto it and starts drinking it. Oh, I never realized how amazing water could taste. Oh, it's almost like those crystal geysers back home.
I've never drunk crystals, so.
I definitely recommend you get the chance, you find that riverbed, flowing crystal, dip your hands in. Oh, solid, it flows. You drink it in and you'll feel a refreshment that's just frees you.
I'm free enough.
Until you've had crystal flow.
No. Who knows? Maybe a lass has, and I just don't remember.
Well, perhaps we'll have to jog that memory.
It's fine. She can stay where she is. There's enough of her in my poor choices. I met with some friends recently.
You haven't been cutting your palm even more. You're going to go down to the bone at this rate.
I thought you wanted me to bind people to me with promises.
Of course, but I just don't necessarily want you not able to use your hand.
I hold up her hand. There's no new scars or anything.
He says, and he's just sort of like staring at it, maybe a little too intensely. You know, because he's seeing something that's not that probably actually there. Or maybe it is, who knows.
There's a whole quantum niche to the play anyways. Who knows?
Who knows?
But yeah, no, there's nothing so cutting. But with your promotion, were you informed of Dessa?
He just keeps sort of nodding.
Me and a couple of friends were planning on trapping her to ask some questions. They have this lovely little place planned for us. It's an old abandoned building. I mean, if there's any such place to die, right? So, I do hope this will hold you over for a while. I've seen what Dessa can do.
Are you intending not to come out?
It's always a possibility with these things, you know. She gets the drop on me or my friends, and you've seen me. I don't back away from anything I should by all rights and reason.
Sebastian plans on sending some people out for her.
And I'm certain that somebody who managed to stop an iron-tipped arrow from reaching its destination will absolutely go down without a fight to those knights.
Probably the same with you. You're intending to go through?
I'm intending to have words. And you know me, I have so many words. But, like I said, a friend has a place. It's quite hospitable. An abandoned, whatchamahoosit? Steel, wood. Like a trap waiting to happen.
Why?
Why what?
You. Why do you think you have to be the one to do this?
Well, and she smiles. Who else?
Anyone else?
Not everybody has my penchant for the dramatic when it comes to time management.
Yeah, fair. Do you want me to go with you?
Are you afraid?
No. I just want to know if you want me there.
I would never ask anything of you that you weren't ready to offer freely. After all, I am your guest.
And you're also my friend.
Yes, but As I've just been made aware of the rules of hospitality, I would hate to offend.
Speak your mind.
My mind. Who can follow my mind?
I don't know. I feel like I've been doing a very good job. Although you may want to hurry up with this because I'm starting not to really follow my own mind, so.
Well, just as well. I would hate to have you agree to something when you're inebriated.
Okay. Before I'm gone,
I would rather have you offer. I want you to look at me. And if you feel compelled to help, then offer.
he sort of opens those stained glass window eyes and he looks right at her. Maybe through her, now into her. There's a long, long pause. I would like to help you. If you would just ask. And I'd be there.
I do want you to help me.
Oh, that's so hard.
No, you're not.
We'll talk in the morning. Tell me your plans. We'll make it work.
I think you should sleep in the bed. I'll make do.
No. This I won't let happen.
I can make myself comfortable anywhere. I'm travel size.
The bed's yours. As long as you're here. He sort of looks over at the place where he shattered a vase. Besides, I don't think I want you looking at what's out here. He sort of shuffles so back towards the couch before he just sort of flops down onto it.
And she's going to go back to the room and she'll throw on like a large shirt and some shorts and take the blanket back to where he's laying on the couch and tuck him in. Sleep well, friend.
And unless there's anything else you want to add, I think that's the place we're going to end it.
Fine.
All right. Well, with that has been another edition for the Changeling 20th Living World Darkness. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are.